is what you get lots of before it gets into being coal. So lots of trees and bushes and things all mulched down underneath the ground with more trees falling on top and water on top. And there's lots and lots of peat in Ireland and in Scotland. Scotland's what I want to do, because I want to talk about Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. And I figured out about the Loch Ness monster. Now, when you go to all the lakes in Scotland, they're called lochs. Hold on. Oh, I thought I had that one. Oh, bugger. Loch. It's the Scottish word for lake. They got their own word. And the famous one is Loch Ness. Now, I was in Loch Ness a few years ago, and I was looking out across the loch, thinking, oh, it's very dark. Loch Ness, like many of the lochs in Scotland, it's very dark. And what makes it dark is the peat. Peat is what you get when lots of trees fall on top of one another and other bushes, and bacterial action starts to digest them, and over lots of time it's halfway towards making coal. Kind of like that. It's a fossil fuel. It's the one no one talks about. It's peat. Peat is what makes Loch Ness dark and peaty. And also peat gives the flavour for whiskey. Wonderful whiskey. And that's important to the story of the Loch Ness monster. So, to have food, the energy to be alive, food energy, you need to get carbon dioxide and water, H2O and CO2, carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide's in all air on Earth. Less than 1%, but it's enough for all plants. Carbon dioxide, not the problem. Water, it's a loch, not the problem. You need carbon dioxide, water, sunlight to make photosynthesis happen, to have plants. Green, lovely. The producers of all food chains, the start of all food chains. As producers always start food chains. Plants are always the start of food chains. Producers produce the energy that everybody else eats. So, if you've got carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight, you'll get green plants, you'll get a food chain, you'll get herbivores eating the plants and carnivores eating the herbivores. Wonderful! Everything exists apart from the peat. The peat in lochs in Scotland makes the water so dark that the sunlight can't get through. Without peat, it doesn't matter how much H2O and how much CO2 you've got. No sunlight, no plants. That means that Loch Ness has got no plants. None at the bottom, none at the top. If they're at the top, Loch Ness would be green. You do get green lakes sometimes, scummy green. But that's okay. You get life from green. Plants start the food chain. They're the producers. With peat being around, there's no sunlight getting through deep into the waters. There's no plant life. If there's no plant life, there's no animal life for the animals to eat the plants. If there's no animal life, how can you have a great big monster? It's got nothing to eat. The Loch Ness monster is a myth. But it does mean there's lots of tourists. And that's nice. And it's a beautiful place to go and stare at a lake or a loch. But it is wonderful. It's so dark. I wanted to swim across. But it's like, a couple of miles across. I wasn't sure I'd make it. But at least I knew there wasn't a monster now, because I'd seen it for myself. The only thing you need to know is that the loch is dark because of all the peat. No peat. You might get photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, you get life. There's no life in Loch Ness because there's no light gets through. You need light to make the energy for life. Photosynthesis!